What a great morning. I'm so glad to see all of you here. This is a great day for Shreveport. It's a day when we can start this campaign to kick off a reinvestment, a renewal of Shreveport. One city, one vision. It's so important that the groups of people that are already on board, and we're excited about who will be. I want to particularly thank the Shreveport-Bossier African American Chamber of Commerce, the Greater Shreveport Chamber of Commerce, Renew Shreveport, of course, and BRF for their early support in getting its campaign kicked off. I think it's important to know how this bond proposition, these three bond propositions came about. It was a grassroots effort. It was from the bottom up, not from the top down. In August of last year, I requested that city council members give me 2 names from each council district so that we'd have 14 people representing the geographical and population diversity of the city of Shreveport. I added 5 people to that, and then I added an additional one at the request of the Central Labor and Trades Unions, Central Labor and Trades Council, so that the voice of labor would be heard in these deliberations as well. These 20 people then held numerous public meetings. All of their meetings were open meetings, and they held numerous meetings, including 4 at least, listening sessions. So what they did was they took some of the projects that the department head said were priorities for them or needs for them, and they added to that their own ideas. Then they added to that the ideas of the people that they heard from in the community. After they did that, they had a list that was way too big to ask the voters to approve. It was over $450 million. So they then began the process of setting priorities, and I am pleased to say that their priorities were based on need, not politics. And that's the most important part of what we're dealing with today, is that these recommendations that the council is making and that the Citizens Committee made are based on need. They're not based upon politics. I think it's important to note that when you look at, and you'll be seeing information about this throughout the campaign, when you look at the division even among the council districts, even though that was not something that was a specific goal of the committee or of the city, it is very evenly spread among the districts, and as well as some very significant projects. There's $125 million in street and drainage projects, almost all of which is surface work. The drainage part of it is a replacement of 4 bridges that desperately need replacement for water flow to go under them. But they are streets all over the city of Shreveport. You'll be seeing in the presentations that I'll be making, and I plan to make as many presentations as people will let me make in the city of Shreveport. I'll be joined by various council members. I'm delighted that Grayson Butcher is here today. I'm sorry that Dr. Jackson couldn't be here, but as you know, he is in full support of this. I believe that Councilman Bowman will be supportive of this. She's under the weather today, so she was not able to be here. I spoke with her this morning. One of the most important things to know about these projects is that we have committed to the engagement of water board program managers who will oversee the work. They will supervise the work to make sure that the work is done in a way that moves the projects along. What we hope to do is when these bonds are passed, it'll take us about 6 months, almost 6 months, to actually get the first money on the books. But once we get that money on the books, our goal is to have these projects completed within a 5-year period, a very short time. So we are committed to that. I want to make sure that you understand. I think that this little chart I've given out, it's the last page in the information that I gave to the press. This chart says a lot about where we are in Shreveport. The chart shows the total property tax millage for the city of Shreveport. It shows the debt service millage for the city of Shreveport, and then it shows the operating millage. If you look at the blue line, which is the operating millage, you'll see that it has been flat since 2003. So that is the money that pays for streets, drainage, not reconstruction, just the maintenance of your streets, drainage, police, fire. Your basic city services are provided by that. The green is the total. As you can see, the green millage drops almost every year from 2003 until 2000. This chart goes to 2026. And the reason for that is the orange. The orange is the debt service millage. When we started in 2003, debt service millage, the amount of property tax millage that's dedicated to paying off bonds was over 30 mils. It's now down to just over 10 mils. What that means is, since 2003, we have been proportionately and consistently investing less and less and less in the infrastructure of our community. That's why it shows that we've been committing less and less and less to the infrastructure. It is time to reverse that process. Now, the good news about that is, in reversing that process, because of really the wisdom of our bond counsel and the other team members, we are able to do this with no anticipated property tax increases for 2024, 2025, or 26. And then some small increases, that's on the next to last page of that handout, some small increases in 27 and 28. So although this does involve some additional taxes in 27 and 28 and years after that, there are no new taxes in 2024, 2025, and 26. This is very significant that we could pass these bonds, $256 million in bonds, and get these projects rolling without significant property tax increases, without any property tax increases at all between 2024, 2025, and 26. By the way, that includes the anticipated sale of the remaining bonds from the 2021 bond issue that was passed. So that's very good news for our community. When I took office, I talked about the bones of Shreveport and how we needed to breathe life into those bones. Part of breathing life into those bones are these stickers and buttons, I love Shreveport. That builds our heart. But in order to build the flesh on the bones, it's time to make investments in the city of Shreveport. This is part of breathing the air into those bones to make them come to life. So I am here today to ask you, to implore you, to beg you if I need to pass these 3 bond propositions on April 27th. Early voting is April 13th to April 20th, except the 14th, which is the Sunday. We urge all of our citizens to go out and vote, and we urge you to vote yes.
Thank you, Mayor Arsenault, and thank you to those of you who are here today and those of you who are in support of this initiative. I want to especially thank the City Council for their leadership in moving this forward, and look forward to working with the administration and the community going forward to ensure that these projects are done in a timely manner and in a way that benefits the entire city of Shreveport. We'll be open to questions now if folks would like.
Can you talk a little bit about why this is an important thing specifically for the folks gathered here today?
Well, first of all, in order to attract business, you have to have a viable infrastructure. In order to build business, you have to have a viable infrastructure. And we have seen over the last several years in particular, particularly with our water system and with our road infrastructure, the deterioration and the challenges that lack of investment has created. And so we believe that it's critically important for those of us who pay a majority of the ad valorem taxes to stand here in support of this reinvestment in our community, because we believe that it's not only important for us as citizens and as residents and as business owners, But it's also critically important for us to attract new businesses and new families to come here so that when they visit, if they're building a new building or they're building a new business, that they have reliable access to water, that they have the transportation infrastructure to move their goods to and from. So we believe that this is an important investment in not only the present of our community, but the future as well.
How will the chamber make that case to any of the members who may not be in full throat support at this time?
I hope I just did. You know, clearly, this is something that when we look at historically, you know, over the last 50 or 60 years, we haven't invested to the degree that we need to. Like many cities our size and our age, we have infrastructure that wasn't well maintained. Now it's our time to ante up and kick in and take care of the infrastructure that we have so that it's not only available for us, but for our progeny going forward. We appreciate the mayor's engagement of the program manager. We think we advocated strongly for that, and we believe that that's a critical difference in this project, because what it allows us to do is it allows us to have transparency and project updates. It also enables the staff of the administration, the folks who do the day-to-day work, to focus on that. At the same time, we have dedicated individuals focused on making sure that these projects are seen to completion. So we think that that's a critical innovation and something that we applaud the administration for taking that step. Any other questions? Questions for other people? All right. Thank you all very much. Have a great day.